Okay, beautiful people. Good morning. Thank you for joining the Ohio Senate Democratic Caucus members today. We are ready to work. We have our legislative agenda for the 130th General Assembly. Over the past few weeks, members of the Ohio Senate Democratic Caucus have met to discuss our priorities. We had a retreat yesterday, and our priorities are designed to benefit all Ohioans. We are here today to formally announce the priorities as a result of our retreat. Our top priority is job creation. In the upcoming weeks, we will introduce job legislation that incorporates bipartisan ideas to accelerate Ohio's economic growth. We are also committed to initiatives that support our families, promote public safety, and provide educational opportunities for all Ohioans, from school-age children to returning veterans. Each member of the Ohio Senate Democratic Caucus will focus on these priorities. We will unveil legislation that will focus on gun violence. We will also have legislation that will reform voting in Ohio to avoid some of the discrepancies we witnessed last election cycle. We also look forward to working with our Senate colleagues across the aisle in a bipartisan fashion to pass legislation. And just so I'm clear, we've had a high degree of success and impact, even though we are the minority caucus and we're made up of 10 members. We've passed and enacted approximately 15 bills from last year's General Assembly, many of those bills with Republican co-sponsorships. We've also passed landmark legislation with pension reform. We have the ability to work with the Senate President. We are ready to work, as I said, and we're ready to advance an agenda that is good for all Ohioans. First, I'd like to turn the podium over to the Assistant Leader, Senator Joe Schiavoni from the Youngstown area.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader Kearney. I just wanted to say a few things. You know, we, as a caucus, are trying to move forward different broad ideas and then narrowing them down using our individual legislation. But on a very broad scope, we're looking to improve our neighborhoods, clean up our neighborhoods, improve the quality of our schools, and help provide jobs for folks to work in the state of Ohio. And using those three things and getting more broad with our bills, that's the way that we're going to go. And since all of us have been in the legislature, we've attempted to work with the members of the majority caucus. You know, it's always best to work with people when you can and only fight with people when you have to. And that's kind of the way that I've been operating since I started, and I know that the other members have. So we're looking forward to President Faber has said that he wants to work with us. And so we're here to work. You know, that's what people in the state want. That's what people in our communities want. And we're going to move forward to the best of our ability. There's going to be places and opportunities where we're going to succeed at that. And there's also going to be spots that we're not going to be able to agree on. So, and you'll be seeing all that like you see every year in a budget year. So next, we'll give it to Nina.
Thank you, Senator. As our leader indicated, we are certainly ready to work, and we have been working very hard. We are the mighty minority caucus. And so for my part, our caucus's part to deal with voter reform efforts, the bill, our Voter Protection Act, will make significant reforms to Ohio's elections law, emphasizing protection, which is very important after the debacle of 2012, where folks decided to use their political might to suppress the vote. The greatest equalizer in this state, the greatest equalizer in this country, the one that it doesn't matter your age, your race, your gender, your religion, is the vote. The vote is the great equalizer, and we saw that trampled upon last year, and so our caucus is putting forward measures to ensure that everyone has access, unfettered access. They shouldn't have to jump hurdles to be able to vote. So our elections law emphasizing protection and promotion of the right to vote, not to suppress the vote through billboards emphasizing in certain communities, in certain classes of people, that they don't necessarily have the right to vote, and in some cases that their votes are not even wanted. That happened in the state of Ohio as well as other states across the country. So the right to vote while updating the work and authority of county boards of elections. What we saw in 2012, which we did not see in 2008, were directives that went out to try to stop, not try, but to stop boards of elections from using their authority to marry what were the needs of their constituencies in terms of voting. And I will give you an example. In 2008 in Cuyahoga County, we had 5 weekend opportunities to vote. In 2012, thanks to the person who sits in the Secretary of State's office, that was taken away. So we had less voting opportunities, not just in Cuyahoga County, but across the state. Voters had less voting opportunities in 2012 than they had in 2008. Shaping voting times to only be during traditional work hours, that has an impact on working class folks who may not be able to go down to the boards of elections during early in-person voting between the hours of 8 and 4:30 or 8 and 5. That was taken away in 2012, those evening voting hours. So this is about increasing access to the franchise, and that's what we should be doing in the state of Ohio, not suppressing the vote, but promoting the vote, and that is what the Voter Protection Act will emphasize. And among other reforms we will do. So we are looking forward as a caucus, as both our leader has said, and Senator Schiavoni, as continuing to work very hard so that every citizen in the state of Ohio can live their measure of the American dream. That's what we should be doing, from looking at local governments, looking at education, and also looking at access to the ballot.